So today what we're going to talk about is what's called a bullet journal. As I explained in my previous video, I am no expert on bullet journals. I'm still learning how to use a bullet journal, so please forgive me if it seems like I don't know what I'm talking about, or if you yourself are the queen of bullet journals and know more than me. So you can tell me. But let's go over equipment first, things that you might need. The number one thing you're going to need is a pen. Any pen you like. This is a Pilot G2 0.38 pen, very fine point pen, and it's also a gel, so it writes really smooth. Next thing you're going to need, which I don't have here, but a mechanical pencil or regular pencil, either one will work, and an eraser to go with that pencil, obviously. Next thing you're going to need is a ruler. Any ruler will do. Honestly, it's just for the straight edge. Maybe measuring, depending on what notebook you have, but I just use it for the straight edge because that is satisfying. Next, you're going to want to get yourself some markers or gel pens. Most people I've seen online use gel pens. I got these markers for Christmas, and they're working great for me. Thank you for asking. These are just Artist Loft fine line pens in an assortment of colors. You also want to get yourself like some stickers and stuff. These are ones that my wife found me that are Harry Potter themed, and they're fantastic. Then I have like some Christmas ones and just like some normal planner stickers in this little pouch that I found in the clearance aisle at Target. So, way to go, Target clearance. So I don't know if you'll be able to get the same little like pouch thing, but that's where I store my stickers. And last, but definitely not least, the most important part of a bullet journal is the actual notebook itself. This one is not a Moleskine or anything like that. I think this is actually an Artist Loft brand. I got it for Christmas, and you want one that has like an elastic or some sort of like closure to it, because you're going to be putting a lot in this book and you're going to be using it every day. So, you know, you want to make sure you're prepared. When picking out a notebook for bullet journals, at least for my preference, I went with the actual bulleted pages. So, might be hard to pick up on my camera here, but what it is these pages, all they have on them is just little tiny black dots. And those little tiny black dots are all I need. I don't need lines, I don't need numbers, just little tiny black dots. The reason for this is because with bullet journals, it's like a planner, but it's a planner that you can customize for you, with what works for you, and it also is customizable because you are basically drawing the planner. The reason this works for most people is because you can kind of tweak it with how you want, instead of being like, okay, here's a planner, the planner has a month, and then it has these set days, and that's it. And it doesn't leave you room for like notes or memos or dates you need to remember, or just personal development, things like that. Doesn't give you that in a regular planner. I'm going to take you through what I have so far. It's still January, so I haven't gotten too far, but I want to show you what I have, just to give you a rough idea of what I'm talking about. After you open up my bullet journal, I have a little title page here for 2019 with light bulbs across the top. Up here I have a Breath of the Wild logo because why not? I love Zelda. And a little note to myself that says, enjoy the little things. And that's just in there so that I can look at it every day and remember to enjoy the little things. So when you're planning out your bullet journal, from what I understand, one of the most important things to have is a key. And my key I put right here on the back of this blank page. So here I have a key for my bullet journal. I just wrote out key and drew a little key around it here just for the aesthetics of it. And then I have different symbols here and what they mean. For my tasks, it's just gonna start out with like a little dot here for a task, like if I need to do a chore or a particular thing I have to do that day, it's marked under task. If I start it and I don't complete it that day, I'll just do a line through it. completed, you know, checked it off, moved, I just do like an arrow, or if I am not doing that task now, I just cancel it out with a scribble. Same with the appointments. I went with triangles just because it makes them stand out a little bit more than the dots. So if I have like a doctor's appointment, went to the doctor's appointment, the doctor canceled it, whatever. Next, events. Events are like, there's a party on this day, and we went to the party, good job, or we canceled it. These ones are the ones that don't really fall into a category. Important, I use for like schedule changes and stuff like that. Deadlines are ones I try to set for myself. If somebody has a birthday, I mark it down. This is a little YouTube symbol I use for video ideas. If it's an idea I have for a video, I will put that next to it, and then I will write it down. Payday, obviously. Ideas I also do for videos. If I don't have like a day plan to do the video, I'll write down an idea I had so that I can always reference it back when I'm looking for something to record. Next important thing is the index. Now this particular notebook came with these lined pages, but it's only like the first couple pages before we get into like the actual journal stuff. So here we have the index. I only have my 1 year in pixels written down here, which I'll show you what that is, because I'm kind of filling it out as I go. Next I'm going to put in like, you know, January was this page to this page, so you can kind of see what that looks like. For now I'm going to skip over these index pages and bring you to my year in pixels. What it is I wrote down every month, just the first letter of every month so I could keep track of them, and then I wrote down 31 days. As each day goes by, I color in a square, and the color of the square is in relation to my mood for the day. So far, it's been a pretty good year. So far, I haven't had a lot of different colors, but at the beginning of the year, I went through and I assigned a color for each mood. So, you know, like amazing, good, normal, exhausted, tired, depressed, frustrated, stressed, focused, productive, and of course a sick day, followed up by a little Voldemort there to keep me company on this page. At the end of the year, this page should be filled up with different colors, showing like generally what my mood was throughout the year. There's other little trackers like this you can do with bullet journals. I left these pages here blank for that very reason. I want to put in some more trackers. I just haven't decided what trackers I would like to put in yet. So if you have recommendations for yearly trackers or anything that I should keep track of for the year, put it in the comments below and I can put it on these pages here. With that, we come to our first monthly of the bullet journal. This is my January title page. So since January is kind of like wintry, I drew this like crescent moon with some trees and some mountains and some snow, even though I haven't seen any snow this year, and a little snowflake sticker just to kind of mark the beginning of the month. I've been liking these like bubbly stickers for this bullet journal just because they kind of are raised off the page. You can see there. It kind of makes the page a little heavier, makes it easier to find so I can tell where the beginning of the month is. Alright, and following that, I'm not going to get into too much detail on this page, but I have like a monthly calendar along with some important days, some to-dos, highlights, goals for the month. I actually haven't written goals in here, which I need to do. Notes for the month, these are YouTube goals. And then on here I have like a little tracker for how productive I was, how often I post to Instagram, record videos, edit videos, eat healthy food, and like general self-care, because I've been really bad about that. This tracker I didn't set up quite right, as you can tell the numbers went off, so I haven't really been keeping track of it. I know, I'm learning habits, I gotta develop those. Next I have a little tiny calendar for February down here. Just, you know, so I can see how that month is planning out. And then this is a box for notes for the following month. So far all I have is Valentine's Day, nothing particular happening that month yet. Next, we're gonna get into the weeklies. For my weeklies, I'm gonna briefly go over this. There's some notes on here from things that actually happened for this time. So I might edit out some of those just for, you know, privacy. This was my first week of January, and it is very messy. So I will show you a blank one of these looks like, but this is a general like overview of kind of what they'll look like when you're done. It's like the following week, and this was that other week, and not a lot happened this week. This is the one that I just started for this week. So mine always start on Sunday, and I've been trying to do like little themes for every month just to kind of spice it up, you know. Like I had like lines on this one. This week is mountains, so I do like little mountains on every day of the week in different colors. I also started color coordinating every day of the week, so I could kind of tell which day was which. And like, if I have a scheduled thing, like I worked this day, or like I don't work this day, or whatever. And then I'll put in like what I had for lunch and what I had for dinner, along with what I wore that day. So like today, I haven't quite filled that out yet. So like today I wore my shark sweater, and where we actually did have pizza. I need to have less pizza because that's been on here way too many times. I use for notes, as I labeled this other one. It says notes. And this box down here I use for next week, just at the bottom of the page there. Anything that comes up this week that I might need to remember for next week, that's what that box is for. They're my trackers. I'm gonna add some other ones in here that I recently thought of, but throughout the week, if I hit my step goal, I mark it down. If I draw for something for the day, I mark that down, and so on. This box, I didn't label it this week, but this is my to buy box. So if I'm like looking around the house and we're out of trash bags, I will write trash bags in this box so that I can remember that I need to buy that. This is one of my favorite things about this setup so far is my sleep tracker. So every day I check my little Fitbit app and it tells me how many hours of sleep I got, and I write it down in my bullet journal because it helps me see how much sleep I'm actually getting. And I do like this little timeline thing here, just to kind of like keep track of how much sleep I've gotten. Some days more than others, obviously. Yeah, that's like my favorite thing about doing these bullet journals so far, is keeping track of my sleep. Down here on the bottom, you see all this empty space. I had a tracker down here that I did the first couple of weeks, but I found myself not really using it all that much. It was a water and vegetable tracker. These ones. Yeah, those ones. It was those trackers, and I just didn't fill them out. I didn't really use them all that much. So I cut them out this week. This is the first week I haven't had them on here. So if you guys have a weekly tracker that you find useful, or another layout for those ones, I have this space available in my weekly trackers to add that in there. I have my next week layout already like drawn out in the boxes. I just need to pick a theme and put in my words on there. And then you just kind of continue to do that every week. Like take just a time. I usually do it when we're sitting on the couch, like watching a Netflix or a Hulu or something. I'll just sit down and I'll fill out my next week boxes so I have them ready for the next week, so I don't have to worry about them when it comes to. That's my bullet journal. It is the end of the day, so we will fill out my little year in pixels here because it's the 21st. Today was kind of an average day, I guess. I got a little sad at one point today, but it was only part of the day, so I can't really base my whole day off of that short amount of time. So we'll say it was a normal day. How about that? Ugh. Just lost the lid to that. One other thing I forgot to tell you guys about that I found very useful while doing these is these little binder clips. Okay, this one I got in that sticker pack I showed you earlier. You get these for really cheap because they're just in the office section. The reason I like these is because if you are working on like your new layout and this page kind of bubbles up, as you can see it kind of like sticks up, and this one lays pretty flat. This is really useful for fixing this page. So you flatten it out and then you clip it. So when it's clipped, it won't bubble up on you like that. You can get these straight lines that you see here. And that way also if you're like working on it and you close it, you can quickly be like, oh yeah, I was working on this. And you can open it back up. So that's just a little bullet journal life hack for you, if you haven't figured that out already. I think that is the end of my little bullet journal tour here. I've only been doing it for, like I said, since the beginning of the year. If you are really good at bullet journals and you have any advice for me, or like I said, any weekly or yearly trackers that I should put in here, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video and you would like more bullet journal updates, do let me know as well. I am open for suggestions. I also asked you guys on Instagram, Snapchat, and I'm going to post it to Twitter as well, that I'm looking to do a Q&A. If you guys are curious about that, go ahead and throw a question in the comments or on the various social medias I mentioned, and I will be answering those in an upcoming video. That's all for this time, and I will see you next time.